Hey guys, I'm Kristie Sullivan and thanks for joining me again for Diet Doctor Explores, where today we're exploring different forms of sweeteners. Well, how do you know which one to use and when? If you want to know what sweeteners to use, go to the Diet Doctor guide and it'll give you all the details, the pros, the cons, the advantages, and the sweeteners that Diet Doctor recommends most. But once you found your favorite sweetener, did you know that they often come in a granulated form, which looks a lot like sugar and can be used in cakes, cookies, pies, brownies, things like that. And they also come in a powdered form, which is soft just like powdered sugar. And you can also find some in a liquid form. So when you're making the granulated, just like I mentioned before, you need that bulk or that volume to make a cake or a cookie or a brownie. That's when you want to use the granulated powder. If you try to use the liquid, you're not going to have the same end result when you're baking. So this won't work very well in things like that. When you're doing your hot coffee, then pretty much any of these will work because your granulated, your powdered, the liquid, all will go well and dissolve in hot coffee. If you're making iced coffee or even iced tea, like we love in the South, then you're probably going to want to stick with a liquid sweetener because the granulated and powdered won't dissolve quite as well in the cold coffee. Now the powdered is one of my favorites because you can use it in cold desserts. So imagine making a whipped mousse or my whipped lemon cheesecake fluff on Diet Doctor, or imagine making a buttercream frosting. You're probably going to want to use the powdered sweetener so that you can have a nice texture. It's not gritty or grainy. If you can't find the powdered sweetener, you can always take the granulated, put it in a little blender or a coffee grinder, grind it up and make your own powdered sweetener. Whenever a recipe calls for powdered sweetener, make sure you're measuring it after it's been powdered and not before. And then with the liquid sweeteners, I tend to use those sometimes in cold applications if I don't need the bulk. Remember, this will kind of dry things out and give a nice texture to frostings and things like that. Whereas this is just going to give you a little drop or two of liquid and really won't impact the texture very much. So again, I usually stick to liquid sweeteners with drinks. Sometimes with cold things that just need a little bit of sweetener without the bulk. I hope learning about the different forms of sweeteners has been helpful to you and that you can make yourself a homemade keto or low carb treat to help you stay on plan.